Scandinavian folktale. In Scandinavia, especially northern Finland, Norway too, there are Lapps, who are relatively small people who tend reindeer, and some of them wealthy, and there were giants. The giants didn't like the Lapps, and the Lapps didn't like the giants, but the Lapps feared the giants. The giants were irritable, had bad tempers, and could do terrible things if they got angry. So the Lapps tried to avoid the giants. One day, a giant saw a Lapp man who was wealthy and his daughter. He saw the daughter and he said, "I want to marry her. May I marry her?" Now, the giants were proverbially stupid too, it seems. So the man and the girl, his daughter, did not want to make the giant angry, so they said, "Yes, but not now." And they tried to postpone. Excuse me. But but the giant would not be deterred. Never gave up and remained cheerful. At least he was a relatively cheerful giant, not very irritable and not furious. So the man put off this fateful day. He loved his daughter. Daughter did not want to marry the giant, and so the man did not want to force his daughter to marry the giant either. Finally, they could not postpone any longer. Now, what the tradition was that in Lapland, the father of the bride would establish his daughter in a kind of hut, put in there various things, and the girl then, the bride, would remain there while the father and the bridegroom went out to the reindeer herds, chose a suitable number of reindeer as a dowry, and then after they had reached an agreement, they would return to the hut with the reindeer, and the father would go. The father would say a few words which pronounced them man and wife. So the Lapp and the giant did this, while the girl remained in the hut. But in this case, the Lapps were going to trick the giant, because the father found a log about the size of his daughter, carved that log so that it looked a little like a human being, and they dressed the log in thick clothing characteristic of Lapps, cold climate, with a veil and a red something on her head. So they went out, that is the Lapp and the giant, chose reindeer, agreed upon the reindeer, and then the Lapp brought the giant back to the hut, pronounced them man and wife, and left. Meanwhile, his daughter had left to a point far away. The Lapp drove as fast as he could to get far away too and meet his daughter. They hoped to escape the wrath of the giant. So the giant went into the hut and said, "Oh, my dear, my little darling," that's what he used to call her, "make the food, okay? Make the fire and make the food." The log didn't move. "Oh, you shy little girl." So the giant, made the fire. After a while, put the water on the fire and boil the water. The log didn't move, of course. "Oh, you shy little girl." So he put the water on. After a while, the water boiled. Now put the meat in the fire. No motion, no movement. "Oh, you shy little girl." So he put the meat in the boiling water. After a while the water boiled so much it boiled over. "Oh, you shy little girl, now serve dinner." Nothing. So he, the giant, served them dinner. When she didn't move even at that point, he realized he had been tricked. So he grabbed the log and shook it. He was now furious, and he pursued the Lapp man and his daughter. But now the Lapp man had a good head start, a very good head start. And soon it was snowing, of course, and the snow covered their tracks, and so the giant got lost in the hills, couldn't find his way, and was lucky to survive. Anyone less than a giant would not have survived. But he was very cold, very sore, when he returned to his home. When his fellow giants found out what had happened, they laughed at him heartily and made fun of him, so much so that the giant disappeared and was never heard of again. So typically of folk tales, often the little guy, with trickery, with cunning, outsmarts the big, usually bad and stupid guy. It's kind of like Odysseus and the Cyclops. Same